Hey guys, I'm the 50s Kid. I'm here at LKQ Pick Your Part Junkyard today here in Sun Valley in California. And this is the junkyard that I come to quite a lot. I also go to the one in Monrovia. The main difference between these two is that this yard has a premium section, which you have to pay like an extra $2 to get into, whereas the Monrovia yard does not. And you'll still find the same, you'll find those premium cars just mixed in with the regular cars at the Monrovia yard. And then the same goes for all the other LKQ yards around my area, around Los Angeles. So, in some of them, they do have the premium section like this one, and in most of them, they don't. Also, the premium prices are going to be higher as well. So that's something to think about before you actually come to one of these yards. Anyway, let's go inside. Let's check it out. So he's actually going to check my bag to make sure that I have no parts and only tools. I'm going to pay $3 to get in. So all the stuff along this side of the non-premium section, that's all going to be import stuff, Hondas, Toyotas, BMWs, European cars, and then a little bit in the back there too. And then all the stuff in the front here is going to be like domestics, Ford and Chevy, Dodge. And then up along this side is going to be all the small trucks and everything. So this is the non-import section, and I'm going to go over to the premium section now and pay the extra $2 to get in there. Over there, you see where all the tires are. You can look through those, see if you find good tires that you might want to buy. They actually have a tire dismounting machine. You'll be able to, take the casings off the rims. On Monday, they have a special where you can get just the casings, just the tires themselves for about $9, I believe. So, Mondays are always kind of popular. They do have a sale day once a month. They have a 40% off day, so that's something to come for. And then you see over here, these are actually the engine cranes right here, which you can rent for, I think it's like $5 every half hour or something like that. So you can rent those, and then you return them. You get a little bit of a deposit back, I think a $5 deposit back. So yeah, that's how you're able to pull engines. It's just like a little engine crane, and they got some wheels, and they're difficult to pull. The tires are always flat, but that's kind of what you find here at the junkyard. So behind me, that was the Primo entrance where I just paid another $2 to get in. And then this is like the main row of the Primo yard. And so over on this side right here of me, this is gonna be where all the domestic stuff is. And then behind it in the back is gonna be all the trucks. And then on this side, it's gonna be all the import stuff. And that's the stuff I'm interested in. So let's go see what they got. So they actually have all of the spaces marked. You see this one's E, the next one's F. And then the cars are numbered, 1 through 8 in this particular section. They actually have a website. They even have an app for your phone where you can check the inventory, because the inventory is always changing. The cars here don't stay for more than about a month. So you definitely want to, check out the app, see what they have now, find out if they have a car you're interested in, and then you can easily find it by just going to the row and the column that the car is located under. See right here, we got one of the engine cranes like I was talking about. So this is kind of what it looks like to pull an engine. So what actually happens is they've got some sort of like professional crews here that just kind of hang out and they wait for the cars that arrive, right in the morning when they start to add, the next day's cars. And, if it's a car that's got quite a, like a valuable engine, they're going to pull that thing like right away because they got their whole, they got the whole crew here with all the guys and they're just ready to go. The nice thing about the app is that you can set alerts for particular cars that you're interested in, and you can know right when they enter the yard. But you better hope that some crew wasn't scoping that car out before you, because they're going to be here already before you can manage to drive down here and get in and get your part. So yeah, they like to hit the brand new cars that come in, especially the really valuable ones. Like in this particular yard, I often see like sometimes a very new car will be in a wreck, maybe like a car that's just 5 years old or something like that. One of those cars will be in a wreck and they'll just pick the engine right away because that engine's valuable. That engine can be sold to another body shop or something, like an insurance company, deal where somebody got into an accident and they're still insured and, they need to replace things. So, situations like that, they grab, the most valuable engine and stuff. So it's always kind of a crapshoot when you're coming to one of these yards, but I find good luck more than I don't. So today I am going to row I, and I hear tell there is a BMW of some sort just arrived. I think this is it. And this BMW has an M56 engine with an M56 valve cover, and that is it right there. And I want that because I can sell that on eBay. So let's talk about some junkyard etiquette. You want to, the really nice thing about coming to a junkyard is you can take apart a car that does not belong to you, and it really doesn't matter. You don't have to put it back together. So this is a great place to learn. This is where I learned to do a lot of stuff. You know, one of the first cars I was working on was a Volkswagen Jetta, and I just came to the junkyard and I just kind of took a couple of them apart just to learn what went where and how things worked and what might break and what might not break, and you know, and I did it respectfully. I took apart the parts and I just laid them aside because in case somebody else was interested, and they can just pick those parts and pay for them. And you know, because that's what this junkyard's in business for. They want to sell these parts, so they're not going to mind if you're taking apart a car looking for, you know, because you're looking for a part maybe, you know, but don't destroy parts. Don't break things because you don't know how to take them apart, or just because you're trying to cut corners, or you're trying to go faster. You know, that's very tempting, but try not to destroy these parts, because you know, again, these cars do not belong to you, so you need to have good etiquette, you need to have good manners. Don't destroy the parts, don't destroy the cars, but you can definitely take them apart, and that's the really great thing about coming to one of these junkyards. So one of the problems with this particular LKQ, the one here in Sun Valley, is that it's located next to the Vulcan cement factory, I believe. And you know, when they have the cars staged over in their staging lot, they sit there for a while and they just get this dust. Everything in here is covered with this dust and dirt. You see that? So yeah, that's one of the challenging parts of coming to this particular yard. So you might be wondering how I knew that this was an M56 engine. Well, I saw pictures of this car in the app. They usually take a picture of the engine bay, they take a picture of the exterior, and they take a picture of the interior. So that's how I'm able to know, like, if a particular car has a manual transmission, because I can see the shifter when, you know, in the interior picture. I can see what the engine bay looks like. You know, the M56 engine has a different engine cover, so I can definitely recognize it. That's pretty useful. One of the great things about coming to the junkyard is you can just take the bolts. They really don't care about these bolts, you know, particularly if you buy a part. Like, you can just walk out with a bag full of extra bolts, and that's really great because you can find a lot of great bolts here at the junkyard. Not only for the car you have, but go into the truck section and just, you know, loosen a couple of the really large bolts in there. Some of those bolts will cost you $10 if you had to buy them on their own. So coming to the junkyard can be a great place to stock up on hardware. So I got my part, so now I'm gonna go check out and get out of here. So I just finished checking out. You know, they searched my tool bag, make sure I didn't have any parts hidden in it, and checked my receipt to make sure that I bought the part that I'm walking out with, and then I'm good to go. So in case any of you are curious about this valve cover, I took the gaskets because they look like they're in excellent shape. See, here's this one. It's still nice and pliable, like it's brand new. It's not all hard and cracked like these valve cover gaskets usually are. So maybe somebody recently changed this, I don't know. But you know, these gaskets are different between the M54 and the M56 cover. You can see it's a flat gasket instead of a thick one that goes in a channel on the plastic cover. So yeah, and then this also, it feels like there's metal in here because I can bend it and it can stay in a particular shape. So it looks like it's rubber coated metal. But yeah, it looks totally good. And the reason I grabbed this gasket is because I know they're like $60 to $80 if you want to buy a new one on eBay even. So yeah, I grabbed that, and I also grabbed the harness as well. Hold on, I want to make sure I don't bend the gasket here. I grabbed the harness because, you know, this particular harness screws on to this cover. It's got these little tabs for screwing onto the cover. So if you have, and you'll notice that these valve covers actually take different style coils. They take the push-on coils. So that's for cars that have the MS45 ECU. And the older cars that have the different style coils, that's going to be like an MS42 ECU. So if you have the MS42, what you want to do, if you haven't seen Nathan from Nathan's DIY Garage's video on upgrading to an M56 cover, what I did was I sold him the harness right here, but he didn't use the whole harness. He just cut off the connectors and then soldered those onto his harness and ended up using that because the connectors on the pinouts on the connectors are different over here. So there's a couple different ways you can go. You can change this connector. You can get like a little, you know, connector release tool that'll release the wires out of this connector, and then you can just switch the wires over into your other connectors. Same for this right here. You can go that way, or you can, you know, switch these ends. Either way to go, but you know, Nathan did it correctly, or did it successfully, and so yeah, that's why I'm including this harness, or that's why I grabbed this harness as well, because it's necessary if you want to do the swap. The oil filter, the oil fill cap is good. There's a little bit of, oh no, that's actually not broken. That's the way it's supposed to be. This is not broken off at all. So yeah, it's good to go, ready for the swap if anybody's interested. I bent that a little bit, but it's all right. If anybody's interested, hit me up in the comments, leave a comment below. So final thoughts: the junkyard, the pick and pull or pick your part junkyards that are all over the US are a great place to come and learn and figure out how to take your car apart and figure out how to maybe put it back together if you want to. Highly suggest coming to one of these places. It's only $2 or $3 to get in. Really good, and the parts are usually pretty darn cheap. So this is where I usually get most everything, and it's worked out for me. I happen to know that, okay, so LKQ is actually the chain of junkyards that are gonna be in the Southwest, or basically on the west portion of the United States. And on the eastern portion, you're gonna have, I think it's called Pick A Part. This one is Pick Your Part. The one on the East Coast is Pick A Part. It's a different company, but they also have an app. They have a website. You know, they have their inventory online as well. I think Eric, the car guy, has done videos with them. So just go ahead, you know, Google it. Google Pick Your Part or Pick A Part or self-service junkyards. I know that that these exist in the UK. I had someone ask me. I looked it up and I saw a couple of ones in the UK, and I think there's one in Scotland somewhere. So just all you got to do is you know, look on Google it, and you will find, probably you will find one of these junkyards, these self-serve junkyards. So check it out. Good luck when you go. Have good manners, and yeah, if you enjoyed the video, toss me a subscribe. I'm the 50s Kid. Thanks a lot for watching.